Okay, I'm in the barn and I just had a thought because most people don't know this. So this is going to be the front spring on the ElCamino, and this is a 19-inch spring, and I'm looking at it right now, but we got it to fit in there yesterday. We needed about 12.5-inch clearance between the front control arms, and oh my God, that was nuts. Thank you, Ken at S&S Tire. I'd borrow a tool really late last night. Thanks for having that for me, I'm grateful. But these have an awesome story, and I realize most people don't know this. I don't have a lot of notes on the ElCamino like we did for the 60 Corvette. The 60 Corvette, actually, my dad, that was a newer project. My dad took really detailed notes on, what he wanted to do and his whole plan, so I could follow it. 60 ElCamino is much different and a really fun project at that. So these springs, all chromed. My dad's first sponsor was a chrome shop, and I'm not sure which one, but I'm sure Bill Victor, somebody knows. And it got me thinking that instead of reading notes, I kind of haven't shared what I'm doing, but it is cool. I am looking at so many things in the barns to know exactly what my dad did. So this is an exact replica of the 60 ElCamino. It's got the chrome springs in there. I think my brother Talis said that a kid that was sick made this replica for my dad. Here is an original newspaper article. Yellowstone Steve Barker won top stock eliminator, and a pair of Tacomians also captured. Feature races before 1,200 fans Saturday night at Puyallup Breakaway. This is really fun, but the title is Barker Cops Drag Victory. So there's a lot happening in here. He at the time had both bucket seats, which I'm gonna put a bench seat in. He did have a 409 in here. The block was yellow. He had two 4-barrel carbs. The yellow, these were the original brake drums. And I've decided, because of the engine, I'm going to put disc brakes all around. I actually found Pat yesterday who did powder coating for my dad, but I did do the backing plates yellow so that it will look like the replica. The springs, you can tell that it's pretty jacked up in the front here. There's a few other things. My dad actually signed this for Mark Anderson, his good friend. But here's a picture of my dad racing. He wrote it here. Oh my God, that's so funny. So the last time that this car was driven was in 1989 out at Pacific Raceways. And my dad broke a rear axle and it never ran again. So there's a lot of things that I use in the barn. Here's the same photo of him racing. Here's a photo up here of my dad. Actually, that's in front of the barn. I can see the barn window, but he's got those same wheels on there. This is like the coolest thing ever. I have this book of photos. Let me see here. So this is all of the ElCamino, and this is out in front of Andy and Marie's house. My gosh, that's bad breath. Tony pulling it. There is a really cool photo that I want to show. But all these things I look at, that replica right there, that is, the 409 that is coming out of the car. One of the coolest things about this photo right here, let me pull this plastic back, is that this actually, Barker's barn still has wood floors, and the spiral staircase was not in yet, but he's down here working. The chrome springs are in there. So I'm trying to do the best that I can to replicate what it looked like then. There's just so many fun things in here, and I found this photo today. Here's my brother Talis in the bottom right corner there, out in front of the barn. There's my dad winning one of his first trophies. Right here in the barn, he's holding it up. My God, he looks so young in the bottom left right there. He's wearing that shirt that says Hair Patrol. I wonder who made that for him. If anybody knows, tell me. These photos up top are, I'm gonna have to ask Bill Victor, but the photos up top are at some sort of car show, I think at the Tacoma Dome. I'll ask Bill Victor and get the real scoop. But they took the cars out there, and Dad's was a big feature, and he put all his trophies in the back, which was super cool. So the barn is really, for this project, what I use to, oh my God, look at that. I haven't even looked at all these. These are all black and white photos from 1962, October of 62. In front of Andy's. It's got the chrome springs on the front, the same wheels I'm gonna put on it. Gosh, it just looks beautiful. Very, very exciting. God, this is the driveway of the barn house right here. I'll have to like recreate this picture. But there's some really cool photos, and this is what I go through to figure out, you know, what things are gonna look like. And geez, you guys, I have not even made it past the first page of this. This is so cool. Okay, let me see here. This is great. Right here, that is Bill Victor. Bill, you look fetching with this mustache you have. And that might be Tom Jensen, I think, next to him. I think so. Dad had won some trophies. That's actually right on the other side of where the camera is right now in the bottom photos. They are working on the ElCamino in the barn. I love it. It's so cool. Look at that. Dad must have had the ElCamino in some sort of storage facility. I don't know where. This is out in front of the barn house. I love this photo, the Flying A, and this is he had a 65 Corvette at one point. Look at little Jeff. Look at that in front of it. Anyways, there's so many cool photos, and I just kind of look for clues and decide, you know, what's gonna go where and how I'm gonna do things. Another thing that is important to me is to figure out how to just replicate the best that I can. I don't know who made this board for my dad, but it's got some really cool photos of the ElCamino on it. And here's another one. This thing is heavy, but there's some really cool articles in here about my dad and, you know, him racing. Here it is, Steve Barker, SSS, 1960 ElCamino, 348 cubic inches. This is in March of 1961, so he had the car less than a year at this point. This is out at Puyallup Raceways, and best speed is 101.82, best ET is 13.89, driver Steve Barker holds all stock records in Northwest, which is really cool. There's also a lot of awesome people on here that my dad loved. You know, you've got Rich Rogers on here, Gary Rogers. There's just a lot happening. And then this Bremerton, this article in the middle, this Bremerton Race presents Chevrolet versus Ford match race. This is really cool because my dad raced this day and he ended up winning. And it's just such a cool thing. This is Sunday, March 21st, 1965. Northwest Top Fuel Open, Bremerton Drag Race. There's just so many cool things. My dad loved a good squat meet. You all know that. I bet you the people are still around that ran this. And then you guys, this is the coolest thing ever. This is a letter from Hayden Prophet in the center there. It says, "Hi Barker, enjoyed your company down at the barn and all of your BS too. You're quite a guy. Enclosed is a decal I made in 1962 after the Nationals, Hayden." Yeah, my dad was good friends with Hayden Prophet. I would assume he met him through John Mounts, and they made a lot of memories together. But you know, it was really cool that my dad saved all this stuff. And anyways, it just got me thinking that this is a little bit unconventional when it comes to figuring out the right way to go. But I'm just trying to find anything that I can in the barn to lead me towards the next clue of how to put it together. I can always change it. And right now, I think the biggest thing is that the people that grew up in the Pacific Northwest racing community deserve to see this car finished. I was born in '88, and the last time it left this barn was about 6 months after that in '89. In this photo right here for Pacific Raceways, when he broke an axle, and it's been parked in the barn since, so essentially my whole life. It has never been outside of this barn since I've been alive, and it's gonna be crazy. And the people that grew up watching him race, I only have one chance to give them this exciting of a memory, and it's really cool that I get to do that, and I love seeing their excitement. So not only do we deserve to see it on the road, but my dad's friends do. So I'm really excited to keep it going and do whatever I can to get it back on the road, and hopefully we can make some progress to get the frame done. It took us hours yesterday. I'm so grateful for Dale and Brian. It took us hours